Hello and welcome to our webinar about the Heidelberg Remote Services technology, its features and benefits. My name is Kerstin Rabbel. I am the Product Manager for Remote Services at Heidelberg. And also here with me is my colleague Eckhard Herzberger, who is our technical remote service expert. We would like to show you the features and benefits of remote service in an interesting and exciting way. Therefore, we will switch from the theoretical informational PowerPoint slides to several live demos. We focus on technical features and functions. We won't inform you about service contract offerings or terms and conditions available in different countries. For this aspect, please contact your local sales and service unit. But now enjoy the session. So how can remote services help you? In case of a malfunction, we access your machine directly in order to identify and analyze the source of the problem. Even if we don't solve the issue immediately online, we see at once what we have to do. So, if necessary, we would swiftly send you the right technician with the parts needed. But we have also another scenario. You surely know the situation that a few weeks after a training or instruction you remember you saw a certain new function. But after a few weeks you have completely forgotten where they hide in the menu navigation. In such cases it is also possible to contact a Heidelberg specialist who logs onto your machine and helps you online. We use the same technology platform for all our Heidelberg products. In pre-press for our Supra setters and Pro setters, all our Speedmaster presses, and in post-press for stitches, most binders, folding gluers and die cutters. Thus we can offer you the same service concept for all your Heidelberg equipment, with remote service as the key function. How does it work? Your operator allows the expert to connect to your machine via the internet. The expert is in most cases your local contact, but it can also be someone from the headquarters, for example for after hours or weekend support. He carries out operations and sees error messages, but he can also pull log data to analyze them, for example for intermittent problems. If necessary, a second Heidelberg expert can log on and provide assistance to the first expert. However, your operator keeps full control at all times. Our remote services run on a certified security platform with fully encrypted data transfer. As I said before, your operator has always full control of all interactions, and all our technicians are specially trained and identify personally when they log on. Now let's look behind the scenes of our remote services and log on to the Remote Services portal. This is the Remote Services Control Center. Depending on the rights, the expert can log on to a machine in his local area, in the region or any machine worldwide. Now we look quickly on one machine in our showroom, the Print Media Center in Wiesloch. This is just to show you which data we see in the properties. For example, we see the equipment type and machine model. In our case here, it's a Speedmaster XL75 dual coating. Location is, as I said before, the Print Media Center in Wiesloch. Here we get also the information if eCall is activated. In our case here it is. Further below in the properties we find more information about the press configuration. In press control wall screen, for example, the press console is the printing press center and the software version is 13A. We get the information on licenses like DryStar UV, Coating Star, Instant Gate and so on, and we see the totalizing counter. Now we switch to the customer's view. What do you do in case of a problem? Of course, first you contact the Heidelberg service department. Then the expert would recommend to initiate an online remote session. We now show you how to do that. We just use a screenshot here. This is your view on the Printing Press Center. If the expert asks you for permission to access the press, just click on the telephone icon on the left to grant the access. And to shut it down, just click on the crossed out phone. This is quite simple. Now we go back to the technician view again and to show you some functions. This time we use a simulation and not a real machine. Once again we have to enter the machine number, it's FS050060, and then we go to connect to machine. We can choose here whether we would like to connect to the press console with a remote desktop session or directly to the in-press control color measuring device, if it's clear that the error is located there. For our demo here, we use a remote desktop connection. So now we can see the screen of the operator on customer side. As I explained before, you can see here the personal identification with name and picture of the service expert. In our case, it's my colleague Heidelberger. Now we come to our example of a customer problem that we would like to simulate in the session. The customer described over the phone that he can't load the job data from prepress. Apparently, he received an error message. Job data can't be loaded. In order to find out what caused the problem, we asked the operator to give us access to the press console. You can see immediately that there's something wrong, as no thumbnail pictures appear on the screen, and if I go on the button Load Job, nothing happens. Apparently the connection to prepress is interrupted. To find out what happened, we will now go to check whether we find an IP address for Pressroom Manager or Prepress Interface, which is the Heidelberg software responsible for that job data transmission from prepress to press. For this, we go to the service menu and click on the wrench. Then we go to Integration/System and see in the network settings that we have values in the TCP IP table. We see here DHCP is active. That means basically a network address is set for prepress interface, so there must be a connection issue. So in order to check the connection, we need the actual address of the PC where prepress interface is installed. This information is not visible with the normal operator rights. Therefore, we have to log on as a service technician. We go on Active Data Storage, Prepress Interface, and look into Data Storage Configuration. Here we find the path and we see also the PC name. We note that down and check whether it's connected by sending a so-called ping. In order to do this, we go to Diagnosis, click here on the PC icon and then on IPC. From here we go to Network. Now we are in the menu where we can send these so-called pings to many different connected devices. For example, the sheet-fed control unit, the IPC, the InkZone panel, and as in our example also the PC with prepress interface installed. There we have to enter the PC name, then we click on ping and see the error message. That can have several different reasons. For example, the PC is switched off, the server is probably down, or the network cable is pulled. The network block can also just be loose in the socket. As the PC is probably in the office and not next to the machine, we would now ask the person on the phone to go and check or to send someone from the print shop's IT team to check. In reality, this would take several minutes and even longer until someone found the error. But we are quicker, of course, in our scenario here and have already fixed the problem and plugged in the connector. Now we just push the ping button again and see that it works. We see now data is transmitted. The PC is back into operation and the data should be transmitted. Let's check. We go back in the menu to Job Selection. Alright, here we see that the job data is loaded. The thumbnail pictures are available. Everything is back to normal. So this was just one example how the remote access functionality can help your expert in analyzing the problem and find a solution. We can see and check connections, data, conditions, parameters, etc. to do a diagnosis on failure messages and solve them. There's a lot we can do, some things we can't do. That is above all starting the machine. All functions that trigger a movement or rotation of any kind are blocked and can't be started remotely. This is just for security reasons. So, and how would you contact the Heidelberg service expert? You can do that either by telephone or, quicker and easier, by e-call. With e-call you save the phone call, probably the waiting queue. You don't even need to explain the error symptoms. With e-call the error message goes directly through to the service expert with all relevant information. Let's take a quick look at the process. How does e-call actually work? See on the left our customer's print shop with the printer press center, the press console of the Speedmaster printing press. In case of a machine failure, the operator gets a signal and at the same time the e-call button pops up. By pushing this button, the operator can contact Heidelberg System Service Organization, inform them about the event and ask for support. The service expert then uses the automatic diagnostics tool and his know-how to analyze and solve the issue. Eventually he calls back the customer with a repair proposal in no time. With e-call, we can cut down response times dramatically. But not only is e-call extremely helpful in case of an unusual event, you can use e-call also to contact the Heidelberg Service Organization quickly to raise questions on applications or ask any other kind of support. e-call also offers the possibility to generate and send out an e-call manually. Now we will show you how you can do this. We will do that quickly over the remote connection of a technician, but the operator screen on customer side looks identical. Once again, we log on to the machine simulation. To find the e-call side, we first go to the service menu. Here we find the tab e-call. In this window, we find several boxes that we have to fill out. First, a field description where we can enter free text, but the shorter the better. We could describe an error symptom with 2 to 3 keywords or any other request. In this case, we would like to inform Heidelberg service that we need help with foam roller adjustments. So we type in help with foam roller adjustment. I type my name, which really should be the operator's name, to contact him directly. And even more important is the phone number. Also here should be the direct number of the person who wants to be contacted and not a switchboard or a receptionist. Please check and change the number if necessary. What comes next is choosing the right classification for the topic, electronic, mechanical or print applications, so that the right expert calls you back. Then you can select in another drop-down menu whether the machine is down or available. Then you press the green e-call button to actually send the e-call. Here on that green bar you can follow the transmission, and as soon as the e-call arrives at the Heidelberg service, you get the confirmation and the SAP notification number here in this box. On Heidelberg side, we receive a new notification in the SAP e-call list. Thanks to the classification you choose before, the e-call arrives on the screen of the right expert. He will call you back as soon as possible to solve the problem or answer your questions. No searching for phone numbers, no waiting in the queue, no explanation of symptoms. This is the quickest and easiest way for you to contact Heidelberg. Now a quick summary. The benefits of remote services for you are obvious. The fast connection to the Heidelberg expert, the information transmitted to allow faster and more precise pre-clarification. With remote service we can solve 70% of electronic press problems and 90% of printing workflow issues. No service technician from Heidelberg has to go on site, which saves time and cost. And even if parts replacement is needed and the technician has to go and do that, we can do a thorough analysis and provide the technician with the right part and good instructions what has to be done. In the end, I'd like also to summarize the requirements. As explained before, Heidelberg Remote Services is for all equipment with a network plug. You need a stable and performant internet connection. Your local Heidelberg Sales and Service Unit will inform you about offerings, prices, and terms and conditions. Thank you very much for your attention. If you have questions on Heidelberg Remote Services, please contact your Heidelberg Sales and Service Unit or the Heidelberg Remote Services team.